On November 19, 2025, NASA held a highly anticipated press conference in Greenbelt, Maryland, to finally unveil images of an interstellar object that had sparked months of intense debate, 3I Atlas. After 6 weeks of legally mandated silence due to a government shutdown, conspiracy theories had flourished about what authorities might be concealing. When NASA's Associate Administrator, Nicola Fox, addressed the packed room of reporters and scientists, her opening statement was meant to be definitive. This object was simply a comet from another star system. Unusual, certainly, but entirely natural. Yet within hours, Harvard professor Avi Loeb challenged this conclusion on News Nation, arguing that NASA had revealed nothing new and that colleagues claiming absolute certainty lacked genuine scientific curiosity. The controversy stems from a fundamental divide. One group sees clear evidence of a natural comet, while another observes patterns that seem remarkably convenient for a natural object. The story begins on July 1, 2025, when the Atlas telescope system in Chile detected an object moving on a hyperbolic trajectory, traveling too fast to originate from our solar system. Named 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar object, it joined Oumuamua from 2017 and Borisov from 2019 in this exclusive category. An early calculation revealed something striking. The object had entered our solar system approximately 8,000 years ago, coinciding almost precisely with when human civilization developed writing systems and began recording history. This timing would become the first of many patterns that divided scientific opinion. Professor Avi Loeb, already controversial for suggesting Oumuamua might be alien technology, began documenting what he termed anomalies. Orbital alignment. The object's orbit was inclined only about 5 degrees from the plane where all our planets orbit. Given that space is three-dimensional and objects can approach from any direction, this near-perfect alignment seemed statistically improbable, like throwing a dart from another country and hitting the wire between dartboard sections. Planetary flyby sequence. Calculations showed the object would pass remarkably close to Mars, then Venus, then Earth in sequence. Each flyby would be close enough for detailed observation, but not dangerously close, resembling a carefully planned sightseeing tour of the rocky planets. Unusual composition. Initially, water signatures proved difficult to detect. Later observations revealed significant water and carbon dioxide, but in very unusual ratios, unlike typical comets. Substantial size. Based on brightness calculations, the object appeared to measure anywhere from 2 to 3.5 miles in diameter, considerably large, though smaller than initial projections of 14 miles. Loeb published a paper suggesting this might not be a comet at all, but something artificial. He noted that if one wanted to design a probe to survey our solar system's planets, this trajectory would be ideal. As 3I Atlas approached its closest point to the Sun, Perihelion, on October 29, astronomers realized Earth would be positioned on the exact opposite side of the Sun during the 3 most critical weeks. Earth would be completely blind during the object's most active period. However, Mars would have a perfect vantage point, and humanity just happened to have multiple spacecraft with high-resolution cameras orbiting the red planet. The trajectory seemed to hide perihelion from Earth while remaining visible to our Martian equipment. If designed to be observed, but not too obviously, critics noted, this would be the perfect approach. On October 1st, 2025, The day before Mars spacecraft captured their closest images, the U.S. government shut down. NASA's public communications and data releases were frozen by law. The best images ever taken of this mysterious object, captured at the perfect moment, could not be shared with the public. The shutdown lasted until November 12th, 6 full weeks of silence during the most crucial observation period. Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna wrote a public letter demanding transparency, but NASA's hands were legally tied. This timing raised uncomfortable questions: pure coincidence or something more deliberate? Amateur astronomers worldwide tracked the object and reported bizarre phenomena. Extreme brightening. The object suddenly brightened by a factor of 100, far more than normal comets should. Fragmentation paradox. Some observations showed the object fragmenting into possibly 16 pieces, appearing to explode. Yet, other observations showed it intact, simultaneously exploding and not exploding. Anti-tail formation. The object developed a tail pointing toward the sun instead of away from it. Normal comet tails always point away from the sun due to solar wind, but this object had tails in both directions, one seemingly defying known physics. Massive material shedding. Loeb calculated that producing these effects naturally would require shedding about 13% of total mass in days, enough to destroy a normal comet. Yet 3I Atlas survived. Radio emissions. On October 24th, radio telescopes in South Africa detected radio emissions from the object. Scientists explained these as natural hydroxyl emissions from water molecules being broken by sunlight. Evidence the object contained water and was behaving like a comet, but only after exhibiting non-comet-like behavior. After the shutdown ended, NASA's November 19th press conference showed images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MAVEN, the Perseverance rover, and Solar Observation spacecraft. The images revealed little, essentially a fuzzy white dot with a hazy cloud. NASA officials insisted this was definitely a comet. All unusual behavior could be explained by natural phenomena. The anti-tail was a perspective effect. The brightening was normal for comets near the sun. Yet, they acknowledged troubling details. Unusually high carbon dioxide to water ratio, unlike any known comet. Trajectory suggesting it came from the galactic disk, possibly billions of years old, older than our solar system. No explanation for how it survived the apparent fragmentation event. Within hours, Avi Loeb published a sharp blog post essentially accusing NASA of deception. Quoting Sherlock Holmes, "There is nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact." He argued NASA was simply repeating an official mantra rather than emphasizing what remained unexplained. Loeb cataloged a dozen specific anomalies, highlighting the statistical improbability of the trajectory, passing close to Mars, Venus, and Earth in sequence, while arriving precisely when humanity could record it, represented odds of approximately 1 in 100,000. He described the jets as tightly collimated, focused beams extending 620,000 miles toward the Sun and 1.86 million miles away from it, persisting for possibly months. This behavior, he argued, doesn't occur with normal comets. His post concluded pointedly, "Bureaucrats or unimaginative scientists want us to believe in the expected, but the rest of us know that the best is yet to come."
With all the spacecraft observations and advanced technology, the best public image remained what one NASA scientist described as a fuzzy white ball against the blackness of space. Loeb noted these new images added only slightly to what Hubble and James Webb had already provided. This fuels speculation about whether authorities are withholding data to prevent public panic, or whether 3I Atlas is simply an unusual but entirely natural comet. As of late November 2025, we remain within the 30-day window before December 19, 2025, when 3I Atlas makes its closest approach to Earth at approximately 170 million miles, close enough to study, but not close enough to pose any danger. After that, it will leave our solar system forever. The natural explanation. NASA and most astronomers maintain this is definitely a comet, albeit unusual. All observed patterns are coincidences, and people are reading intention into random events. The artificial hypothesis. Loeb and others argue that if an intelligence wanted to send a probe to study our solar system while maintaining plausible deniability, it would behave exactly as 3I Atlas has, arriving when detectable but not clearly, following a path that appears natural while passing all inhabited worlds and exhibiting its most unusual behavior when direct observation is impossible. The most disturbing aspect isn't necessarily the possibility of alien technology. It's that we've been given precisely enough evidence to wonder, but never enough to know for certain. Usually, collecting more data clarifies mysteries. With 3I Atlas, the opposite has occurred. Every new piece of information makes the situation more ambiguous, not less. The patterns represent either the greatest set of fifth
Coincidences in astronomical history, or they're not coincidences at all. We're shown exactly enough to keep us guessing, but will we ever be given enough to know? Perhaps December 19 will provide answers. Until then, the mystery of 3I Atlas endures, leaving humanity to speculate about whether we've encountered our first confirmed evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, or simply witnessed nature's most elaborate coincidence.